Hey, what up? It's the one and only Mr. Thanksgiving, CEO of Generation Now, creative Gangsta Grillz, Grammy Award winning, yours truly, DJ Drama. I'm really like that. New album. Please make sure you get that. And I'm on the Bootleg Kev podcast. Why wouldn't I be?
Bootleg Kev Show. We got DJ Drama in here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Way to start. It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Atlanta during the pandemic, and we kind of did like a little
we did
Generation Now.
Yep.
But yeah, you being here,
Yeah.
it's about fucking time. I feel like I've been stalking you.
It felt, I mean, well, never that. I mean, you're my guy.
I'm like, yo, Drum, when you coming on the fucking show, you're in LA all the time.
Yeah, it has, and I have been putting it off for some time. But I have reason to be here. I got a fucking new album.
New single.
You know what I mean? I wanted it to be timely, and I knew a conversation with you is significant. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, I do say DJ Drama is the greatest hip-hop DJ of all time.
That's big.
The greatest of all time. I'm not saying it's scratching and fucking transforming and shit, but you're the greatest. You're the GOAT.
So hold on. Let me thank you, first of all. So if they're making for 50 years of hip-hop and they make a DJ list, like of the greatest DJs in 50 years, you're putting me...
I don't even think it's a discussion.
Wow.
I mean,
it would be hard for me to agree, humbly. I would like to be in the top 5, but if we're talking 50 years, we're talking Jazzy Jeff, we talking Jazzy
No, listen, I'm talking about, because Jazzy Jeff probably, like there's guys who are really good at DJing.
Yeah.
Party rockers, fucking, I mean, we can go on and on. There's like but I just think, when I think of like, your cultural impact on the last 20 years of rap music, it is literally not even a discussion. Nobody has ever impacted hip-hop culture as a DJ the way you have. And I don't even think... And like, listen, you can go back to Kool Herc. Was Kool Herc a DJ or a rapper?
He was a DJ.
He was a DJ. Yeah. Okay, so he kind of started it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, bro, I'm fucking 36. So when I was coming up, it was Funk Flex. I had like the 60 minutes of funk shit. I was getting DJ Clue tapes, and then when I started bootlegging shit and selling shit at the swap meet, it was like all Gangsta Grillz shit. But we're talking about your fingerprints are all over it all. Jeezy, Wayne, Pharrell, Gucci. You just won a fucking Grammy with Tyler the Creator, bruh. You won a Grammy with a Gangsta Grillz. What are we talking about? A Gangsta Grillz won a Grammy.
I've done some shit, man. I'm really like that.
I really think that like people can say what they want. Like, I mean, there's been even artists, there's been a guy like, listen, DJ Khaled for sure has put out bigger songs than you as an artist.
Right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But like, I forget the name of the Lil Wayne DJ Khaled tape, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Like
it had a gem on there though.
But you remember which tape I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was called the fuck.
The re-up or
the suffix.
The suffix.
The suffix.
The suffix.
Yeah, the suffix.
But we're talking about the dedication shit.
Yeah.
We're talking about dedication. We're talking about, you just like, I mean, even like shit like Little Brothers Gangsta Grill, like just so many, like your fingerprints are everywhere. Like you just told me a story about your first tape with Gucci where you removed Nicki Minaj's verse because she wasn't popping yet.
Oh God, why are we talking about this? Nicki, I apologize.
So what happened?
Me and Gucci's first actual Gangsta Grillz. We actually did one with Yo Gotti first. It was called Definition of a G. That was the first tape me and Gucci had did together. It was a collaboration, Gotti, Gucci, and me. The first official Gucci Man Gangsta Grillz was called The Movie. And when he brought it to me, the first song that was for the tape, the first voice you heard on the tape was Nicki Minaj. Obviously, this is a early Nicki Minaj, and disrespectfully, I felt like we can't have a Gangsta Grillz with me and Gucci, and the first voice you hear not be Gucci. So I removed her verse from that song. I feel terrible to this day.
Did she know it was your decision?
I don't know. She may know now. But in defense, I will say that I made sure out of everyone that Nicki Minaj was on Dedication 3 because Nicki Minaj was about to get left off of Dedication 3. She was calling me directly, say, Drum, please don't let the tape come out without me on there. And I said, I got you. So Nicki Minaj is on Dedication 3 directly because I made sure she was on there.
So you got it. It came back.
I'm trying to make it up. I'm trying to,
Did anyone ever hear the Nicki verse that you removed?
That's a good question.
Did she ever use it anywhere else?
I really don't know. I don't know whatever came from that. We'd have to probably ask Gucci.
Do you still have like your OG email access?
I wish. I had a gangstagrills.com Gmail.
That was probably just
some shit in there. Probably so crazy. I used to get these fucking beats from this like random email from like, it was like Boy Idea or something. Like, I was like, who is this Boy Idea?
Boy
just
Wonder.
sending me all these beats like in like 05, 06. Used to flood my email.
Because you know how to pronounce his name. It was a weird name.
And now looking back.
Boy Wonder.
Yeah, it was Boy Wonder.
Jeez.
I've told him that. We've talked about that. Like, shit was crazy.
Yeah, because I just think about like, even the last 2 or 3 years, the research, like if you think about it, we went through this weird cycle where the blogs would drop the no DJ version of mixtapes as well as the DJ versions of mixtapes. And I remember you having an issue with that. And
I felt used.
yeah, because they would use the Gangsta Grillz brand.
Yeah, to like launch it. And then like a week later, they would drop like a no DJ version.
Without your shit on it.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
But now we like kind of like.
Came back around.
Now everybody is getting the Gangsta Grillz and they're dropping them on DSPs. Like, I mean, shout out to G Perico. You guys just dropped that one. There was a day recently where I feel like you had 3 tapes come out on one day.
In one day, I dropped Jeezy Snowfall, Snoop, and NBA Youngboy. That was crazy. I was like right after I won DJ of the Year too at the Hip Hop Awards. I was like, oh yeah, I'm coming for the next year's award.
How much do you feel like, because if people don't know, you're also, you, Lake, and Don have cultivated a label called Generation Now that has 2 of the biggest superstars in hip-hop, period, at the moment, Jack Harlow and Lil Uzi.
Yes.
So you've obviously been busy.
Yeah.
You've also put out records. You've been listen, it's like you never went anywhere, but do you feel like the Tyler album sparked the Gangsta Grillz Resurgence?
1000%. 1000%. You gotta tip your hat off to, I saw someone say, like, of all people, who would have thought Tyler, the Creator, who people have called a weirdo for thus long, would bring Gangsta Grillz back to life. Like, yeah, I mean, one, just the ingenious idea of him, of the concept of him making his album at Gangsta Grillz and utilizing me the way it did, and 2, obviously us winning a Grammy. Like, come on, you can't deny, like, Tyler had a lot to do with it. And I still think that like, just even recently I saw like Benny and Westside Gunn make some references like, yo, we got drama out of his executive bag. Like, even before Tyler,
you did the BSF shit.
I did BSF shit. I did some shit on Guns project.
Yep.
So, there were some other projects, out there. So I think like, there, clearly like as a brand, Gangsta Grillz was still strong, but I think, the response and just what Tyler's album did, like, really, we have a lot to thank for that, for sure. Like, or even the Jeezy Snowfall, like that was in the works.
By the way, the best Jeezy album in, I don't know, what do we think, in 10 years?
Some time.
It's been a while. I was like, yeah, we were in New York riding around listening to that shit when it came out. I was like, God damn, Jeezy back on his shit.
Yeah, I had that feel.
And then you guys were doing the shows together.
Yeah, that was fun. That was dope. That was a good time.
So when Tyler hits you up, because obviously you're extremely culturally aware. I feel like some people might think, oh, DJ Drama just knows what's popping in the strip club or whatever, but like, what's up. So like
100%.
Tyler reaches out to you. I'm sure you know how big this can be because Igor was huge.
Oh yeah. I mean, without question. I mean, I remember, because we started it in 2020 during the pandemic. So I was doing like Zoom interviews and calls, and I knew it was coming. And like, you know, obviously I couldn't talk about it, but I was like, yo, I got some big shit coming.
No, I think during our interview you were like alluded to something coming.
Yeah.
But you couldn't talk about it.
I couldn't talk about it. But Lake, even the session that he came to, Lake came to the second session. We did like 3 or 4. His first was the second session, and when he heard the music, like off top, he was like, yo, y'all niggas gonna win a Grammy for this. Like said it just plain and simple, clear as day, like y'all niggas gonna win a Grammy. And like he called it.
Are the songs already done and then you get brought in to like collaborate with him on like the shit you're gonna say?
Yeah.
Like what's that process like? Album's done and then you come in after, or are you like in there when he's recording any verses? Like
yeah, for the most part it was done. I mean, Tyler's so genius and creative. Like he had already, when he first came up with the idea, he had taken random DJ drama vocals from like another project
and like put them on there,
placed it on like where he thought I should talk or what it would sound like, just so he could hear it. And then like, you know, we vibed a lot. Like we sat in the studio and talked and just talked music and, you know, vision and things like that. He told me, you know, what the concept and where he wanted to go and just about life the last couple of years. And, you know, that's literally how I like to work too. Like a lot of, you know, what I like to say on projects or, you know, the direction I go, I like to work off of, you know, I mean, I feel like it's an art in its own sense. So, you know, I work off of inspiration. And then, yeah, I would go in the booth and I would say some shit and play around. And then he would like kind of like be like, yo, like say like I'm on a boat. And I'd be like,
right.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh my God, it's fucking crazy. And like, you know, talk about like having my toes out and shit like that. So, you know, he was that was one that, you know, a lot of times when I do tapes, I normally like to do them in my own zone, but obviously
it was like collaborative for
very
real.
Collaborative. And but you know, I mean, he's a one-man army, so you know, production, like everything, he does it all. So a lot of it he had done, but then during the session some of the music changed. But even while I was in there, he was still kind of like working on the production and, you know, going in and things like that.
It's crazy too because one of your more underappreciated projects was the one with Pharrell. It's like kind of a cult classic, but that kind of ended up being like there's no Call Me If You Get Lost if there's no Pharrell tape. Yeah.
But you know, to me or in my travels, like the way Dedication and Trap or Die is to certain people, the Pharrell tape is to certain people. Like I've had a lot of,
it's like a cult classic.
It is, and I've had a lot of people from a certain, like, you know, like hipster kids or just like, you know, not the what you would think the normal Gangsta Grillz listener, like come up and be like, yo, that Pharrell tape changed my life. Like the Pharrell Gangsta Grillz was like, it was this for me. Like, so, and artists too, like that was definitely one of those ones. And obviously that was a big inspiration for somebody like Tyler growing up. So yeah, that was a big tape for me. I mean, because, you know, at the time Pharrell was already like a god, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So when
he was on a skateboard P vibes, like
when I got that phone call, like, yo, I think that's the only mixtape he's ever done in his career. You know what I'm saying? So for me to be a part of that, and when I got that call, and then just like, you know, just that's one of those tapes that definitely is one of the greatest ever. Like, you know, the way it's put together, the zone I was in, like that shit was incredible.
For you, how, because I'm assuming nowadays if a major label artist wants a Gangsta Grillz, one, you have to fuck with the music, but two, they have to have the bag. No one's just getting a Gangsta Grillz, I'm assuming. Is that fair to say? Or you have to be cut in on the project in some aspect. Yeah,
the way that I mean, because like things have changed in the music business.
It's not the same way it used to be.
No, It's not the same way. So there's, you know, the way that we approach the business has changed and elevated. The cost of a Gangsta Grillz is not what it was in the mid 2000s.
But you get a cut.
I get more.
You should get something. You should get publishing.
There's more than just a
royalties.
check involved.
Right,
for sure.
Some residual income there.
Absolutely.
In your peak though, what was the biggest bag you ever got to do a Gangsta Grillz? Because you had some random ass Gangsta Grillz floating around.
Yeah, I did.
And it was obviously like, this not bad. I know what this one was.
I think it probably was, to be honest, it probably came from an athlete. It probably was like a good, like in the earlier days, it was maybe like a 40 piece or something like
40K to do the Gangsta Grillz. Was it for like the athlete's rapper?
Yeah.
Was this, which athlete? Carmelo Anthony? Amari Stoudemire?
I did do one. I actually did do one for Carmelo.
Sounds about right.
That it wasn't that one, but I've done some very notable.
Remember KD had his thing going?
Yeah, we never did again. By that point, KD never came to me for a Gangsta Grillz. But shout to KD though. I know
40 bands ain't bad.
He checks in, but yeah, I've done Jason Terry, Deshaun Jackson,
Terry,
Asante Samuels, Meta. Shout to Meta World Peace.
Damn.
Ron Artest has a Gangsta Grillz where he's actually rapping on there.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Steven
Jackson. Yep.
You was running it up.
Yeah, we got some. There's some more out there too.
You were running it up. Yeah, no, actually,
it was a fun time.
A fun time indeed. My boy V the Ruler, I know, had one early from you, like from Phoenix, and I know he paid for it. But V's like my dog, so I remember like I hosted his next tape, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a whole project with DJ Drama." I'm like, DJ Drama knows you, dog. But that was probably, what was that, like 2013, 12?
Okay.
But yeah, man. So this new album. You got the new single with A Boogie. Who else is on the single?
Lil Baby.
Lil Baby and A Boogie. Mm-hmm. What's the name of the album?
I'm Really Like That.
I'm Really Like That.
Yeah.
For you, are you taking like, because there is one thing about DJ projects that can get hairy, and usually they don't sound very cohesive. Usually it just sounds like
songs.
It's like a bunch of songs crammed in with the hottest of hot. It's not very cohesive.
Yeah.
You get hit singles off of them.
Yeah.
But if I'm pressing play from start to finish, that's why I got to give it up to Metro Boomin. And I know he's not a DJ, he's a producer.
Yeah.
But the way he curated his album.
Incredible.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
What approach did you take for this?
Something similar, where I wanted to make a cohesive body of work from beginning to end, where it was an album not of just songs, but, something that people would put on at the top and
and let it ride
and interesting collaborations, not just necessarily like chase names, like just artists that I think are dope that I would love and wanted to hear together, and great voices and great production, and really make a good body of work. I feel like this is my best body of work since Quality Street Music, my Quality Street Music 1, which came out about 10 years ago. So that was,
Was that the one that had the Jeremiah record on it?
The Jeremiah record.
Am I thinking of the right record?
The Jeremiah record.
Was it Meek and...
No, that was my... Yeah, My Moment.
My Moment. That was a great song, man.
Yeah, that was the Quality
Damn,
Street
that was 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Time flies.
I'm old as fuck.
Yeah, that was My Moment was on there. We had some gems on there.
Yeah. For you, though, like, it's crazy because with all your success, right, you have... Like, you see a guy like DJ Khaled who's put out like these gigantic anthems. Meanwhile, you have gems. You got like dope records. Like you got plaques as a DJ, but you also, as to where like maybe We the Best didn't necessarily work out too crazy on the artist side. You got Generation Now, which is like, man, fuck, kudos to you guys. Why do you think like you never really reached the heights as a solo DJ? And because there was a point in time where you were on Atlantic, and then you ended up at Koch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
E1,
you had some really
E1 by then,
or E1, but you had some like really big records that maybe just weren't like, I feel like were slept on or didn't like pop in the way that maybe I thought they should have. Like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, are you saying in comparison to Khaled or just in my own?
Just in your like I feel like you had records that could have been fucking #1 records.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had some records that charted and did amazing for me. My Moment was one of them. Wishing was another one.
You got
that
plaques.
That was a big record. You know?
Wishing was hard.
You know, I mean, at that space or point in my career, you know, I'm kind of like, in comparison, like, I'm more of a reserved type of person. Like, obviously, Khaled is a very
He's
big,
a personality.
He's a very big personality.
Superstar personality.
You know what I'm saying? And that took him to, like, amazing heights. And, you know, I tip my hat off to him. Kudos to, like, all his success. But, you know, like, for me, like, there was just my route and, you know, how I attacked the game was a little, it was over here, you know. But I think that what's dope about it is that, you know, there's like, obviously there's room and there's space for both of us to be these dominant figures and, like, go-to people that can inspire other DJs
100%
to, you know, want to be the next Khaled or Drama.
Yeah, you guys are
know?
like the bar.
For sure, you know, and, like, for me, it was like, you know, even outside of just my records, it was like, all right, I'm still putting out tapes that are classics through those years, like, whether it was Fab or whether it was
the Fab shit was so good. There's no competition.
Dream Chasers, you know, Childish Gambino tape, like Jeremiah tape, like, you know, I was even during that time, you know, I did Little Baby's tape, like, you know, I got some shit. So I
forgot about the Childish Gambino shit.
There was a lot of shit that I was doing. I was, you know, building Mean Street Studios, which became like a hub for, you know, everything that was going on in the culture in Atlanta. When we were doing with Generation Now, like cultivating Uzi's career and Jack's career, like, you know, I wore a lot of hats. So, you know, for me, it was like, this is my lane. You know, I'm not trying to be anybody else. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is DJ Drama, and this is how I approach and attack the game. And you know what I mean? It was like, hey, I'm gonna go for what's mine, you know, and I'm gonna make a name for myself and be, you know, the greatest, and, you know, go down in history as arguably one of, if not the greatest DJ of all time. Yeah,
for sure. For you, obviously, a guy like Uzi is, you know, if he's on the show, he's headlining the fucking Rolling Loud. He is having a moment.
Yeah,
again,
for sure.
Over and over, he has these moments where it's like, no, Uzi's fucking a superstar, rock star, for real, for real. You guys had kind of gotten to like a weird patch in your relationship, which I'm sure happens a lot when artists sign. And like, I sympathize with kind of the label side, because it's like, you know, you put all these resources behind the guy, you kind of put all the chips onto somebody, and once they pop. You know, they start to be like, well, you know, what the fuck? You guys seem to have gotten over whatever weird hump you had, because I see pictures of you guys together. What's your guys' relationship now?
It's great. We got over the hump. You know, we're back in a great working space and a great personal space. Him and Cannon have been working, you know, very, very hard on the Pink Tape. Looking forward to that. And, you know, like, it's families bicker, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, like, you know, sometimes it plays out in the public, sometimes it doesn't. And, you know, like for us, you know, obviously, again, like you said, we've put so much time and invested so much, and like, you know, his success is our success. So even at a space and time where we may differ, or, you know, I don't agree or have another opinion on it, it's like, it's a rock and a hard place, because it's like, you know,
the bigger he is, the better it is for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of like you just gotta, you know, roll with the punches and you know, keep putting that work in. You know, obviously for us, a great thing that happened too when we were getting a lot of the brunt of the, you know, bad publicity or bad press, like with the Roc Nation situation and all that shit. It was like, Jack Harlow came, and it was like, oh, okay, these guys really know what they're doing. Like,
shout out to Seddy Hendrix too, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and we've been quite successful, and you know what I mean? And honestly, like, I've been in the game so long, and it's like I've weathered so many storms. So even with the Vert shit, it's like, you know, you hope and you know, foresee like, yo, we'll get past this.
What was like the catalyst to you guys kind of repairing the relationship?
Time.
Yeah,
time. It was, you know, just coming back, and, you know, I guess just like after a couple years of things kind of like letting it play out. It just, you know, we got back in a good space. And again, you know, we were moving and grooving. Like Generation Now, like you see this guy right here, Jack Harlow. We got some things going on.
I never understood the Rock Nation thing because I always like thought to myself, like, it's not like you, Lake, and Don Cannon aren't of the culture and aren't who the fuck you are.
Say it again.
So I was like, yo,
say it again.
Why is it Rock Nation that try to pull people out of deals from like actual culture vultures?
Say it again.
Like you're DJ Drama. like you try to fucking pull my guy out of like he's like he found this kid. You know what I'm saying? Like
DJ Drama did not pay Bootleg Kev to make such an accurate statement.
No, as soon as that happened, I was like, there's people who you should advocate to get out of deals.
Say it again.
But we're talking about Don Cannon, Drama, and Lake?
Come on, bro. Like, 3 young, black, successful men who met in college at the ages of 18 and 19, HBCUs, by the way, and made a name for themselves within hip-hop culture for 2 decades, paving the way and putting on and providing for the culture. Like, huh?
Yeah.
Of anybody that should have been embraced, or it should have, the way it played out, that
like I didn't see them advocating to like get Meek Mill released off at Atlantic after he complained about how he didn't like his deal. Right? Oh, this shit doesn't add up. Anyway, shout out to Uzi. He's a fucking legend.
Absolutely.
How's the Pink Tape sounding?
It's dope.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a lot of songs. I know they're trying to, you know, get them down to a good solid, I don't want to say a number, but they got a lot of music. So
you making this proclamation that Just Wanna Rock is the new Philly anthem, I think only would have actually worked out if you guys won the Super Bowl.
It fucked me up when we lost.
It fucked me up because I booked you that night. I was like, we got drama. We about to have the Eagles celebration party. Let's go. Fucking shit.
Oh, man.
Fucking Patrick Mahomes and his...
Boy, did I put my foot in my mouth on that one. But everybody keeps leaving out. I said this year. Like, I said this year. But, yeah, that was a viral moment.
Yeah.
That was fun.
What did you see in... Like, first of all, how did you actually find Jack Harlow? Because all these, like, old videos of him being 12 and rapping, like, went viral, like a year or two ago, and it was just so funny. I'm like, oh, this little motherfucker was rapping when he was a child.
Yeah.
How did you like actually like discover a kid, a little white dude, by all means, kind of a little nerdy dude in Louisville?
So I had a homeboy come to the studio one day and just say his name to me, and I went on Instagram and just like immediately followed him. And Jack saw me follow him, and he like followed me back. And he wound up later telling me, like, he told his homeboy, like, yo, DJ Drama just followed me, like, damn, I'm gonna sign to Drum. And there's a very legendary engineer that we've worked with throughout my career who's mixed a bunch of my records as well as a lot of classics, including Dreams and Nightmares. Worked with Waka, worked with 2 Chainz. His name is KY, KY Engineering.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the name.
So, yeah, he has, you know, KY Engineering,
He's
legendary
got a tag.
Yeah. So his name is KY because he's from Kentucky. And around the same time that I had found out about Jack, he was also working with Jack, and he told Lake, like, yo, I got something I want to bring to you. You know, I just want to get it to a certain space. So he was, you know, he was putting a bug in Lake's ear about Jack. So it kind of like literally happened around the same time. And then Jack just one day found his way to Mean Streets. And then, you know, heard he was in the building, and we met and we sat down and we chopped it up. We talked music and life and movies and shit like that. And, you know, I was just impressed. And then, you know, we came to the table, like, you know, we had a meeting, and all parties, you know, came to the agreement that we wanted to sign him.
It's crazy too, because I do feel like you guys have kind of gone the old school route of like actually developing artists. Yeah,
that's how we like to do it. We like to get involved like in the early stage of their career, and like, you know, be part of artist development.
Yeah,
like
we don't. Nobody's doing that. Like I mean, like I remember, like Jack was just on like these little indie tours, dropping.
Just dropped Dark Knight when we signed him.
So it's kind of crazy, like
Yeah.
in an era where everybody's signing bullshit because it's viral. You guys have kind of taken the opposite approach and reaped the benefits.
I mean, it's paid off. Like we have generational artists. Like we have fucking superstars. You know what I'm saying? So, like we were talking, it's quality over quantity. You know, and then there are times when, to be honest, within us ourselves as a label, like we discuss and like analyze like about signing more, more quantity than we might do at the level we are now. So, but when we sign something, like we really believe in it, and we put that time in, and our artists are like, artists that are gonna be here. You know what I'm saying?
Did you guys ever try to sign ESTG?
We did.
And so you guys are a part of that whole. Was it like a bidding war? Or?
No, to be honest, Lake and one of our A&Rs, Royce Monroe. Royce was pretty much engineering ESTG. He did a lot of his early stuff at Mean Streets, and he was in the building like
all the time,
the entire time.
Yeah.
And Lake also wanted to sign EST to the label. The way we were trying to go around to structure the deal wasn't exactly what ESTG was looking for at the time. And the way Nigel, shout to Nigel, Nige was, who was A&R at Atlantic at the time, used to be at Mean Streets all the time. He came to Mean Streets, met G, and went and took him to Gotti. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, and then there's like the legendary video of Yo Gotti. Yeah, I feel like anytime you sign with CMG, you just get a pile of cash.
Yeah, like a big ass chain and cash and all that. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason. I can't front. Like G is definitely somebody that, like, for me, I'm like, damn, I wish
like
we would have did
away.
that. Yeah, for sure.
Is there anybody else who was like kind of like at the finish line, but just didn't, for whatever reason, ended up working out? They made a choice to go somewhere else, or?
Yeah, there's people. There's various people. Like, early on, we were interested in signing Tory Lanez. Who else was there? I was there early on in Amigo's career. OT Genesis.
OT?
Yeah, we wanted to sign OT. Yeah.
The Migos would have. T-Fly?
Oh yeah, we wanted to sign T-Fly.
You know what? You guys.
We wanted to sign Problem.
You guys had Scheme.
We had Scheme. Yep.
Yeah.
Scheme still generation now.
Shout out to my guy Scheme the Duke, man.
Yep. Scheme was Scheme our first. Yeah, it's the first person we ever signed.
Was Scheme?
Yep. Scheme.
Are you guys actively always trying to sign artists? Because I know you do have a roster of artists that you are developing. I mean, there's a guy like Seti Hendrix who's just been kind of just putting in that grind and just continuously staying consistent, leveling up slowly. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Putting out quality music.
Yeah. Sunny Digital.
Sunny Digital. I didn't know Sunny Digital was.
Yeah, Sunny Digital's generation now. He has a project coming out. We have a female artist, Carvina, that we've been developing. She's super fire. And then we have some new artists.
You guys got to grab someone from LA.
Yeah.
And from Detroit.
And Detroit.
I feel like Detroit's. You got to get somebody from Detroit, bruh.
Yeah, I'm open. Listen, hit my line.
Don't let y'all sign Babytron away from Ghazi.
Hit my line. And we're in the process of rebooting the management company on Generation Now too. So we got some dope people on the roster too that we're gonna announce soon.
Let Will tell it from Taylor Gang. Uzi was almost Taylor Gang. If you let Will tell it.
Yeah, how does he tell it?
He just said, we almost had Uzi. I think it was like, it would have been like a Generation Now Taylor Gang thing. I don't know. Was that ever like close to actually happening? Because you guys, you're on every fucking Wiz Khalifa tour that ever happens.
Yeah.
So this is a family thing. Shout out to Will and Nate and the guys and all those guys. Was that ever like a thing that was close to?
It was a family situation. I mean, basically,
First time I ever heard Uzi, by the way, was in Ty Dolla $ign's dressing or hotel room in Boston, like fucking, I don't know how many years ago. He was just playing his shit on sound. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Ty was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vert, I took Vert on tour with me every summer I go on tour with Wiz. He came out, because I actually met him during our first tour together, we did in 2014, one that I did with Wiz, and then the next year we went out with Wiz and Fall Out Boy, and I brought Vert on the road with me, so he would come out on my set and perform What You Want. And you know, him and Wiz just, you know, established a relationship and a bond, and you know, Wiz put him on a record very early on, and you know, like, so in that sense, like, you know, he was family. He was like Taylor Gang, you know, but it wasn't like a paperwork situation.
I think he might have had a Taylor Gang chain.
He did. So what happened was, I think at the first Very Uzi Christmas we did in Philly, Wiz gave him a Taylor Gang chain on the stage. Now, mind you, this is still very early on, when people, one, didn't even know Uzi was signed to DJ Drama Don Cannon, let alone know what Generation Now was. So that literally was kind of like the way that the name Generation Now even got some traction, because it came out like Uzi Vert signs to Taylor Gang. And, you know, of course, those are our brothers, that's family, but we were like, this is not exactly...
Not the whole story.
Yeah, he signed a Generation Now. So then it turned into like, wait, what's Generation Now? So it kind of like, in a sense, kind of worked out in our favor, because it was a way for us to start to brand Generation Now.
Listen, do you want to win some money? Got to stop the interview. But listen, there's so many opportunities to gamble, to bet on your favorite sports, to make sports more interesting. NFL season is over, but it's all good, because the opportunities to win are just getting started. Yeah, look, there's so many things you can do. We're talking about NCAA, NBA, NHL, UFC, boxing. There's blackjack tournaments, so much money to get in on. And check this out, y'all. If you sign up right now using the promo code BOOTLEG, do it right now, you can get a welcome bonus up to $1,000. Plus, you're going to get a free $150,000 March Madness bracket contest entry. That's mybookie.ag. Use the promo code BOOTLEG right now. Get a bonus up to $1,000. You're going to put in $200, they'll give you $200. You put in $1,000, they'll give you another $1,000. All right. Look, right now, go to mybookie.ag, sign up, use that promo code. March Madness is upon us. So much great sports. Just NBA season, playoffs are on the way. Man, you could like literally put together some crazy props, like I don't know, over under on a player that you like scoring. You could do a future on the MVP. You think Jokic is gonna win it? You think Joel Embiid's gonna win it? Whatever it is, get in on the action right now. MyBookie.ag with that promo code BOOTLEG. When you sign up, get that free deposit bonus. All right? Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Also, shout out to our family at Jardine. Jardine, Las Vegas. Yes, you see them. I was just there in Vegas yesterday. This is the best place I've ever been to in terms of dispensaries. I've been to probably hundreds of these things. And the experience at Jardine is like nowhere else. The customer service, the selection of premium cannabis, the experience as a customer that you get when you walk into the building in Las Vegas is bar none the best. It's just the best, man. They are the best. We got so much going on this weekend. They're sponsoring the Rolling Stone Party on Friday, Super Bowl weekend, Fabulous Thursday, Offset Friday, Meek Saturday. It's a lot going on with Jardine. You got to follow them at Jardine_Las Vegas. Right now, shoot them a follow on Instagram. While you're at it, go to their website, HardineLasVegas.com. So much fly gear, so much fly weed. What are we talking about, baby? Shout out to Jardine, man. That's the family, man. Go, if you're in Vegas, pull up on them, man. Jardine, Las Vegas. Take me back. You guys get hit by the feds for essentially the mixtape hustle.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, back in the day, I don't even know how many CD burners you guys had to have had. But I know.
How many did you have being the name Bootleg?
No, I only had one of the 10 ones.
Yeah.
So you put the one at the top and then you do 10 at a time. And then I had a little shitty printer I was printing fucking mixtape covers out on. I would go to the fucking Staples and buy the jewel cases. I'd steal ink from the fucking demo printers.
What a time.
But, you know.
How much money you think I made you?
Oh, you made me a lot of money. You helped feed my baby.
Oh.
I would say you,
salute.
You, DJ Smalls, The Game, and G Unit Radios.
Fire.
That was. I mean, because Southern Smoke was like a big brand too at that time.
Very big brand. Very big. That was my main competitor.
Yeah, it was like Gangsta Grillz and Southern Smoke.
Yep.
Yeah, but like, do you know like what the like? Was there like a certain thing that happened that turned the feds' attention to what was happening with the mixtape culture? Because technically, it was against the law, I guess.
Yeah, it was against the law.
Like, what was the catalyst, I guess, that turned?
I mean, there's a lot of different conspiracy theories. I mean, if we go back in time, like if we look at where music was at that time, like the music business was in a decline.
For sure.
So a lot of like the bottom line wasn't what the heads or, you know, the top of the food chains were used to seeing. And mixtapes it was like the Wild Wild West in a lot of ways. So
it was like the crypto market.
So outside of like the sanctioned Gangsta Grillz that I was doing and the other like G Unit radios, there were like all these just random mixtapes out of people getting songs and leaking them and taking them from Gmails and, you know, literally being bootlegs. So I think in a way it was affecting, potentially it could have been affecting some of the business, or maybe they were just looking at mixtapes as a scapegoat, you know? And then, you know, at the same time, mixtapes started to show up in like Best Buy and Target with
which
barcodes.
I never understood.
Yeah, shit was like, nigga, those are fucking bootlegs. Like
literally, like
they had barcodes on them, and that wasn't coming from me. You know what I mean? Like, so they didn't run up in Best Buy with the M16s and arrest them for bootlegging and racketeering. But I think when that started to happen, and like, you know, me being the go-to guy, like the top of the food chain, it was like, you know, maybe they were out to send a message, and obviously it got across because shit changed after that, for sure.
So at the time, in your peak, you guys have your headquarters. Are you guys burning the CDs, distributing the mixtapes to like the bodegas, the mixed units of the world, these websites where you can go get mixtapes? Were you guys the source of just your Gangsta Grill shit, or were you guys also producing other people's shit?
Nah, we were just doing all in-house stuff. So
right.
It was all affiliates.
All affiliate shit.
Yeah, so everything that we were doing was strictly like under our brand. So there were Gangsta Grillz, but like that was one of the problems too. Like, so when they went to gangstagrills.com, one of the red flags that they saw wasn't necessarily the Gangsta Grillz. It was the other CDs that had like Michael Jackson on the cover, or Beyonce on the cover, and it was like a blend of Michael Jackson. So
the mashup shit, or there was like the radio mixes.
Yeah, they seeing shit like that, and like, oh, these are like, you know, this Michael Jackson. And
what were you guys selling mixtapes per piece for back then? Like, let's say if someone bought it directly from you,
maybe like $2-3.
Oh wow, I used to do,
I think,
$5 a pop or 5 for 20.
For wholesale?
No, just like at the swap meet in my space.
Oh, I'm talking about wholesale.
Wholesale, I was doing like $2.50.
Yeah, like $2.50, $3. A piece, probably like $7-8 or something like that. I don't remember. Everything I was doing at that time was in bulk, so we were.
It was all wholesale shit.
Yeah, it was at a lesser price. People were buying like quantities of from 200 to 1,000 at the time, like nonstop.
In a hypothetical world in which you were doing that, but you're not who you are right now, what would have been the best year that you made mixtape money-wise? In a hypothetical world where it actually didn't happen in a far universe, far away.
Are you, so let me get this question straight.
I'm asking you, if you were someone who looks just like you in a different universe, how much illegal mixtape money would somebody like you have made at a peak without it actually being you?
You know what's crazy? To answer that, like in that hypothetical world, somebody who may have looked like me, like
in like another universe, doppelganger,
like 100,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is that taxable? In this hypothetical world where this person doesn't
some of
exist.
it is. Yeah, it was a hypothetical person would have been paying taxes on it because it was going through the banking system.
Gotcha.
There was cash involved as well.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is even after the raid, like during the like DatPiff era and live mixtape era, I probably made more money then.
But how?
Because they were cutting me checks to make whatever Gangsta Grillz I put out exclusive to their site.
Yeah.
So when an artist would come to me to do a tape, I'd be like, that's fine, but it has to go on DatPiff. And then DatPiff was
what was the DatPiff check for like dedication? For dedication, what was the check?
Probably like 50.
Jesus.
They gave me 50 and gave Wayne $150. Like,
and yo, when you guys would drop those fucking tapes, it, like DatPiff would get shut the fuck down. It would
crash. Like I made more money after the raid off mixtapes than I made during the earlier days.
I bought the first time I ever interviewed you or met you, I was like a nobody intern at Power in Phoenix, and I bought the white tee with the free DJ Drama shit off a mix unit, and I was like, man, I'm about to meet Drama, I'm about to bust out the tee. You know what I'm saying?
That was and we did that interview like during my first album run right after the raid. So that was like 07.
Yeah, it was around, it was early, bro. I was like a nobody.
Yeah, but I never forget, I remember you from that time.
I was like a skinny.
The first time we met in Phoenix when we did that interview.
Fucking triple XL DJ Drama tee.
Yeah, I remember.
Shout out to Mix Unit, man. I used to buy a hella shirts off of there.
Yeah, they had everything.
Yeah, fucking A, man. I just saw, well, I guess DatPiff isn't actually closing. They put up a tweet that said that they're
I saw that.
I was so sad.
That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy because Fab DM'd it to me too. Like I saw it on, I saw a post about it. And then right after I saw a post about it, Fab DM'd it to me. And I think he DM'd it to me because we just recently sat down for something I got coming out. And we were talking about that era. But like, just to think about that, like imagine if DatPiff had gone under, like that's like a generation.
It's an archive.
Yeah, it's like a part of our culture that could potentially go like lost. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like so much of that stuff is not available on the DSPs, and like, you know, where people don't know where to find it. And like if we lose that, you know, that time and that music from that era, it's like it'll just be like a word. It'll be like, damn, do you remember? Or, you know, it'll just be spoken about. So it's like really important that we get a hold of that, you know, just to
keep it alive. I just feel like to keep the history alive.
Gotta keep the history alive.
It's like, where else am I gonna go? I don't want to go listen to some shitty YouTube fucking shit to go listen to like the Pharrell tape or some Little Brother shit.
And one of my goals is something I've been working on too, is definitely bringing some of the classics to the DSPs, like so they can be available, so people, you know.
There's so many projects,
it's a lot of work, but it can be done. Like it can be done. So one that we're definitely in the process of working on is getting dedication to up on DSPs.
It's really just clearing the beats.
Yeah, you gotta clearing the pub, clearing the beats, like, you know.
I'm sure Wayne's down.
Of course.
Yeah.
Can't do it without the goat.
Can't do it without him. Yeah. Who all do you have on this new album?
I got a lot of great people. Tyler the Creator.
Ooh. Who's on the Tyler song? Tyler and?
I just wait to hear.
Give me something here.
Just wait to hear it.
You may wait long enough for this fucking interview. Who's on the Tyler song, Drama? It's Tyler and?
You can't put Tyler on a song with anybody.
So it's just Tyler.
Yeah.
So he's got track number 2 or the intro, or what is it?
It
feels like what a way
to start.
Track 2?
What a way to, you know, what a way to come off a Grammy.
What track number is it?
What a way to start.
So it's the intro. I love it. Check you out.
Jack Harlow's on the album.
I sure would hope so.
Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Wayne's on the album.
Jesus.
42 Doug's on the album. Lil Russell's on the album.
Love Lil Russell.
Sci-Hive's on the album.
Shout out to Sci-Hive.
Carvina's on the album. Moneybagg Yo's on the album. Gucci's on the album. Jeezy's on the album. Nipsey Hussle's on the album.
Nipsey.
Blast is on the album.
Did you put Nipsey and Blast on a song together?
I got some shit on there.
You're telling me you got Nipsey and Blast on the album together?
I got some shit. I'm pretty excited for you to hear it.
How you get the Nipsey verse?
You know, Nipsey did a lot of recording at
Mean Street?
Yeah.
So you okay.
Lost Archives.
So we got this old Nipsey verse. You reach out to Black Sam. Make sure, obviously, you have to clear it with the family.
Of course. Yeah. Link
and
does
then
a lot of that process.
And then you send the verse to Blast and say, I need a hook. Yeah.
You know how it goes. Blast. You know how to put songs together.
Blast and Nipsey, man. Woo!
Featuring another artist.
From LA?
No.
No.
Wow. Yeah.
I can't wait. It sounds like a
Simba's
smash.
on the album.
Simba. Is Simba and Lil Russell on a song together?
No.
I love it. Shout out to the Bay, man.
Yeah. Wiz is on there. Tip is on there. So I feel like I have some of the, the people you would expect to see work with Drum, as well as a lot of like new voices as well. So it's a good, combination.
Yo, how do you kind of look back at the Grand Hustle era of your career? Because when you were on Grand Hustle, it was like the hottest shit moving.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of things probably, kind of went wrong. Or, obviously B.O.B. is a star. I think Trey the Truth is on Grand Hustle. Am I tripping?
Tip had a hell of a roster if we really want to put it into perspective. Young Dro.
I actually really liked the guy that snitched, Alpha Mega.
Yeah, you liked Alpha Mega?
He was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like the first 6ix9ine.
He was an early teller.
Because he was fire. He was on that record. Bro, he was on that record with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, we had to perform that without Tip at the Hip Hop Awards when Tip got locked up.
Was that called Hurt?
Yeah, Hurt.
Oh, that shit was hard. His voice was crazy.
Yeah, we performed that. Somebody just recently sent me that YouTube video. It was like Wyclef opened up, and then me, fucking Alpha Mega, and Busta performed Hurt without Tip.
Because he was incarcerated, right?
He had just got locked up like literally that day.
Do you think him getting locked up like kind of affected like the trajectory of the label as a whole?
In a sense, I mean, because he had Meek Mill was originally Ground Hustle, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Meek was over at Ground Hustle.
I think I did know that
for a period of time. You know, Travis Scott was.
I remember Travis.
Grand Hustle.
Travis was Grand Hustle.
Yep. B.O.B. Iggy Azalea.
Oh man.
Tip has had his hand in a nice. I don't think he gets the credit that he should deserve when it comes to like having an eye for talent.
I agree. T.I. has an amazing eye for talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, there's others that he talks about, Savage and Thug coming to him wanting to sign, and, him telling him, look, like, I think you should do it this way. I could give you this $1 million, but, I could give you this game that'll go a lot farther. So, but as far as like that time in my career, I don't know what I want to call it, like a golden era, but it was a hell of a time. Like, being T.I.'s DJ when T.I. was like the hottest shit,
number one rapper.
Like he was literally the hottest rapper out. Like, we was doing tours across the state. We went around the world together.
He was doing fucking Chevy commercials.
He was like, I was in ATL, like, he had the #1 album and #1 movie out at the same time. Like, he was on fire. I mean, literally, I got to go on tour with Jay-Z because of Tip. And then, my brand, Gangsta Grillz, was the hottest thing going. So, like, to be DJ Drama and what T.I. was, and for us to, be together at that time, it was kind of what I had always, like, dreamed for in a way of, like, a DJ artist relationship, like growing up looking at, Run DMC and Jam Master Jay and Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, Eric B and Rakim, or even like Who Kid and 50, or like
you guys were like synonymous with each other for a minute.
Yeah, like Green and M early on, like when Tip was like rising and like I was doing my thing, and I was like, oh yeah, like this could be my guy. You know what I'm saying? So I used to literally go to the studio, to the Grand Hustle Studios, which later became my studios, but I would literally go there like every day just to be around, just to kind of like vibe for that DJ gig, because I knew what that could be, yeah. So and then we had some hell of a times on the road. Like I saw a lot of things.
What was the Jay-Z tour?
So originally it was the Best of Both Worlds tour, and
the one that like went left. Yeah,
quick. The incident happened in New York, and during the New York show, Jay was bringing out a bunch of people, and then that was when Tip had Bring 'Em out. So he brought Tip out for that show. So after that show, it became basically the Jay-Z and Friends tour. So we wound up on the tour. So for the next like month, you know, I was on the road watching fucking Jay-Z, DMX, Mary J. Blige perform every night, you know, like it was crazy. It was insane. Like, you know, and this is like '04. It was
insane. '04.
Yeah,
Who was Jay's DJ at that time? Was it Neil Armstrong?
Jay didn't have a DJ, if I'm not mistaken. They were running the board,
just running the
instant
guy.
replay from the side. Yeah.
Speaking of, shout out to Green Lantern, a legend.
Green Lantern.
Jay-Z's DJ, Eminem's DJ, Nas's DJ.
Bro, like who can say that? I tell him that all the time.
One of my personal favorite mixtape creators of all time.
Oh yeah, he's
like those Green Lantern remixes. Oh,
there's no Gangsta Grillz if there's no Green Lantern.
Green Lantern is a fucking amazing.
Like we used to like salivate, pause over Green's tapes. Like we was when Green would drop, we would sit there and just
or like the Rap Phenomenon shit.
We would be so overwhelmed and just so like, yo, we got to get on our shit. Like, you know, Green was our idol, bro. Like
right.
Even before I knew him, like, you know, and now like he's such a great personal friend of mine, but like coming up, like Green Lantern was the epitome of what I wanted to be as a mixtape DJ. Like,
shout out to Green. Yeah. There's a list of artists who never did a Gangsta Grillz. Who's the one person who you never got to do a tape with, but it almost happened? It was like almost there, but it just for whatever reason didn't end up working out.
There's a couple. Drake. Black Thought.
Ooh.
Which still
better make that shit happen for Philly.
Which still needs to happen. Travis Scott. Nicki Minaj. Who am I forgetting? Like,
who's he forgetting? Like,
Travis,
Nicki, Drake, Black Thought.
There's another big one, I think. I mean, that's a hell of a lineup.
Any of those that you started to work on it, but it just didn't get finished, or it just never got.
Well, we started to work on the Drake and Gucci tape collaboration. There are a couple songs that got started for that.
That we'll never probably hear.
No, they came out.
Oh, they did come out.
Yeah, they came out on like the Cold Wars. And then the tape that is Beam Me Up Scotty was originally supposed to be a Gangsta Grillz. So the Nicki Minaj tape that, you know, that just
Holiday did it, right?
Yeah, Holiday and I think Trapaholics or something. So yeah, but that was originally a Gangsta Grillz.
The Gangsta Grillz drop. Mm-hmm. I just saw somebody was getting sued for using someone's voice as a drop on all these records. Did you ever have to like get any sort of legal paperwork to clear the drop?
Bro, Lil Jon is the like greatest human being on the planet. Like he is to this day. And like by me saying this, it's not even like there's a worry, because if he had any intentions at like he could have came so long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like I've literally been running with his voice for 22 years. Like since he was the first host of Gangsta Grillz. Like my brand has been built off of his back. You know what I'm saying? And he's done nothing but show love. Like, you know.
So was that the original drop was from the original Gangsta Grillz?
So he came, the first time I ever had a host for Gangsta Grillz was John. And he came and hosted the tape. And he was just doing drops. And in the drop, he said, Gangsta Grillz.
Yeah.
And then the next tape I didn't have a host. So I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to just run his voice back and just like keep playing it. And that was how it was born.
And then it was over from there.
Shit's legendary.
Crazy.
So legendary, you know.
For you, now that Jack is kind of crossed over to superstar status, I know he's got a movie coming soon. just did his first headlining arena tour.
Yeah.
Just got nominated for Best Rap Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think he should have got nominated, personally. But
Yeah.
I love the guy.
Yeah.
Have you guys, because I do feel like when an artist hits that wave where they're just like fucking out of here, do you guys keep your relationships as solid as it always has been?
I mean, Jack is a solid human being, so
Because he kind of got to witness. I kind of feel like he was somehow like weirdly wedged in between like the Uzi Generation Now thing.
Yeah, he was.
It was kind of unfair for him.
Yeah.
You know, but like he kind of got to see.
And what was dope is that he really, he's like, I feel like him really standing by me during that meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? And at a time when like he could have just kind of like, I don't want to say stay out of it in a sense of that he was in it, but when the press or the way it was being portrayed as if we were bad guys, Jack really went out on a limb and put his arm around me and was like, yo, this is my guy. You know what I'm saying? And I always tip my hat off to him for that. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't have to do that. He could have totally stayed out of the way. I don't even know if you remember, like there were some pictures and then like, like him and Uzi had a little back and forth in between.
I think I remember that.
They had never even met. You know what I'm saying? It was basically just because I was in the middle. But so yeah, to your point, I mean, he did get to see that, and obviously when you have artists like, you have these conversations early on in their careers, like, yo, when you're a superstar, like, people change or things happen, and Jack's he's a solid guy. Obviously at 25, where he is with the type of success and the stardom, he's not the same kid he was at 19, but he's a very focused individual. Like, he made the decision years ago to stop drinking, like, to like get in a workout regimen. Like, he was really, really focused. And, I just think outside of rap music, like, he's solid. You know what I'm saying? So, they're all artists, and in our own ways, me included. Like, there's always a certain level of narcissism, I feel like, that comes along with being an artist. So, there's times when you watch people be in their
mode,
yeah. And it comes with the territory. It's not something I'm like. I've been doing this too long, so I get it. But somebody like Jack, I will say, I watched his growth, and I'm proud that like he still has maintained this level of humility.
Has he started working on a new album yet?
Yes.
Because I feel like he had such a wild year that like I kind of feel like if I'm like Jack Harlow, I'm unplugging for like a cool 90 days at least.
Sure.
The tour, the movie, the album, First Class.
I mean, because it was Jack Harlow's season. Like, he was everywhere. Like, you couldn't look left or right without seeing Jack Harlow. So to your point, like, I would say these last couple months it's been a little more quiet,
right? Outside
of maybe like a Super Bowl commercial, or
he wasn't even in Arizona for the Super Bowl.
He was not. He wasn't in Arizona.
Because I was like, oh, I already know he's about to do all the white clubs.
He didn't go to Arizona for the Super Bowl. He wasn't an All-Star.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to Utah.
He was quiet for the Grammys outside of going to the Grammys.
Right.
Like, he's been in a real work mode for the most part. So he's back in Louisville. Working in a space and an environment that he's comfortable in, and he's got a lot of new music.
Give me the NBA YoungBoy tape. Did you have to go to Salt Lake City to link with him, or were you just sending over shit after? Like, how's that? Because he's kind of like a,
Truthfully,
I
got a call on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yo, I'm dropping a mixtape.
This NBA YoungBoy calling you.
I want you to host it. Yo, I got like 2 other tapes coming out, bro, but
The week of?
The week of.
Oh, wow. He was trying to get out of that deal.
He called me Tuesday or Wednesday. I think I did the tape. If he called me Tuesday, when we dropped the tape
Thursday night,
I probably finished it Thursday, and we dropped it. But like, I'm not saying no to an NBA YoungBoy tape, and it's just like, you know, it was like I had already the Jeezy and the Snoop, and people had knew about them,
right?
So I was like, oh my god, when I come with an NBA YoungBoy tape, I'm gonna fuck these niggas up. Like they're
on one day,
they're gonna be like, yo, Drum's on some other Drum's.
Yeah, it
on
was
steroids.
like we was in New York. I called you.
You did,
and I was like, am I fucking crazy, or are you dropping 3 mixtapes today? I was like, what the fuck is going on? This shit is crazy. You just got a Grammy, bro. Chill. Let these motherfuckers breathe a little bit.
No, chill. Not letting nobody.
And then with Snoop, Jeezy, and NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, man. I mean, let's put it in perspective. Like, I've been DJing 30 years. I've been in the business 20 years, 2 decades plus. Like, I've had a moment or moments where I was on fire. So now in 2021, 22, 23, I'm back on fire. Like, you can't,
I'm gonna turn it up.
Yeah, you got to. Like, you can't take that shit for granted. And mind you, even the years before that, like, it's not like I haven't been working. It's not like
you've been on,
Jack hasn't been successful, or Uzi wasn't doing his thing, or I didn't have my Vegas residency, or I was dropping things here or there. Like, it's not like I haven't been busy, but to be in this space right now at 45 with my skin glowing like this, drinking a gallon of water, looking 21, like, come on, man. I'm not playing with
you. Have never stopped doing clubs.
Never.
And you're in a position where you don't need to do nightclubs.
I don't.
So why do you still do the club shit?
I don't like to leave any money on the table, and it keeps me fresh. Like, I like to know, like, I like to, as a DJ, I like to still feel like I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Like, you still have the fingers on the, like, pulse of the shit.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to have that in order to rock clubs.
Absolutely. Like, you have to. Or
it, like, forces you to be.
Yeah, if you're not in the clubs regularly or know what's going on, like, yeah, you can't just go. And not to the type of clubs that we do or that I'm in. Like, I'm not DJing for 45-year-olds. Like, I'm DJing for the club age, which is what, like 21 to 30 something or whatever. So, you know, to do that, you know, you gotta stay in the mix. And it's crazy because I did get to a point, like, when I was like 30, 37, 38, like, I came to Lake and I was like, bro, like, when I turn 40, bro, I don't want to do clubs anymore. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't want to be the old head in the club. And so there was a small period, a small window where, like, Lake wasn't booking me as much. You know what I mean? Like, and we had a bunch of other revenues of revenue streams coming in, but I wasn't really doing a lot outside of maybe like my Vegas residency or
big shit.
Yeah, but I was,
because you'll pull up and do. I mean, we were talking about Flux, R.I.P. to Flux in San Diego, but I mean,
most of the shit I do is pretty. You know, it's of a certain caliber
for sure,
but again, like, you know, just to be in this position and to get these opportunities, like, you know, it's a blessing. Like, the moment you take it for granted, bro, is the moment they take it away from you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like,
you got to get it while you're getting it, because you don't know how long it's gonna last.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I've had a blessed career that it's lasted this long. You know what I mean? And like, you know, but I still feel Forever 21 like the store.
There it is.
You know?
That's a bar.
Like,
we'll see why you didn't rap, Drama. I'm fucking with you.
I said that bar on the tape.
Forever 21 like the Mr. Thanksgiving, goddammit. What's up, guys? Hey, shout out to our family at BlueChew, man. Listen, I know we always are getting feedback about our BlueChew interviews. They're not interviews. Yeah. They're commercials, and we're always getting feedback about them. Usually they're fucking hilarious, man. You know, people love it when we talk about BlueChew, but let me say, this shit works. A lot of people are like, look, man, I see you talking about BlueChew, but does it work? Yes, it works. If y'all don't know BlueChew, it's got the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form. It's delivered to your door in a discreet package, and you don't have to go inside of a doctor's office to get it. No awkward doctor visits involved. Everything is online. That's right. You go to BlueChew.com, use the promo code BOOTLEG. They will send you a month for free. A month's supply of BlueChew for free. $5 shipping. That's it. And they'll be like, damn, Kev, you were right, bro. My erections are lit. As they should be. Every erection should be as erect as possible. You know, you don't want to be flaccid. You don't want to be one of those 70-30 guys. You know, that means that 30% of your dick's potentially hardness is being underutilized. Could you use an extra 30% hard? Maybe 50% hard? I don't know. It depends on what you're dealing with. Are you dealing with stress in your life? Are you tired of having sex with your girlfriend? Hard to get it up? Well, go to BlueChew.com right now. Use the promo code BOOTLEG. They're going to send you a month for free. They also just dropped the mint chewable, same active ingredient as Levitra. That's right. So what you need to do, I mean, you don't need to do anything. If you want to, you know, not be as hard as you can be, that's on you, bud. BlueChew.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG and try it for free. A month's supply, free, delivered to your door. No awkward doctor appointment needed. It's all online. All right. BlueChew.com. Also want to shout out to our family over at OddSocks. That's right. As someone who wears OddSocks every day, I'll prove it to you. I'm in Arizona right now. This is just random. We got the OddSocks underwear right there. You know what I mean? That's OddSocks. And we got the OddSocks basics, baby. Yeah. So look, so this was dope about OddSocks, man. Not only do they got the most comfortable socks in the world, because they do. I'm not just saying that because they sponsor our show. It's true. They also got some of the crazy licenses. They just got Coca-Cola. They got Doritos. They got fucking everything. They got Scarface, Godfather, Breaking Bad, WWE. We can go on and on and on. Underwear, socks, slippers, hats, all kinds of cool stuff. OddSocksOfficial.com. Right now, use the promo code BOOTLEG, and you will save 20% off at checkout. Try the OddSocks Basics. If you're one of those guys who wears other plain white branded socks, plain black socks, I promise you, go with the OddSocks Basics. And you will believe me, but just, you will convert over. They're way more comfortable. They're way more durable. And they're odd socks. Why would you wear those other socks? We could wear odd socks, bro. Stand out and be odd. Go to OddSocksOfficial.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG. Let's get back to the interview. All right, we talked about the greatest DJ of all time discussion. I always, say that, in my opinion, you are the GOAT. Who are your favorite DJs? Let's go a couple categories.
You're very vocal about that too. What's the, like, when you say that, like, what is the,
I just feel like there was a point in time where
what's the reception that you get when you say that, even from other DJs? I'm curious.
I think a lot of DJs. I think,
because you tweet that, like, yo, Drum's the greatest.
I mean, what are we talking about? Who's the other guy to get a Grammy besides Jazzy Jeff? Right?
Khaled has a Grammy.
Does he?
Yeah.
What song?
The Nipsey record.
That's right.
Yep. So me, Khaled, Jeff, that might be it when it comes to DJs.
The Nipsey record was, wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Khaled.
Yeah.
Yeah, salute. But who's your favorite club DJ?
I have two.
Favorite?
I have two.
Okay.
Mr. Rogers.
Shout out to H-Town.
And DJ Boof.
Shout out to Boof. Boof just did, he's Nicki's DJ, right?
Yes. He's Nicki's DJ.
And Fab's.
He was Fab's DJ.
Yeah, Super Bowl, he hopped on when Fab jumped on.
Yeah, Boof and Mr. Rogers are I hate playing after them niggas.
They're cold.
Bro, I hate it. Mr. Rogers, he does a better DJ drama set than I do.
Wow.
One year we were on tour. We were in Houston and I had an after party, and this nigga just was in the club giving me my flowers, and the DJ drama, me and Lake we was
how am I supposed to go on now?
Blown away, this nigga just fucking, and then Boof is another one, I've seen Boof on tour. We just did the Legends of the Streets tour, And
That had to be a crazy tour, by the way.
it was a dope experience.
Was Boozy on that one, or
he was on
the
one
last
show.
one. Oh yeah,
he was on one show and then it didn't work out.
Yeah, I saw the footage.
But Booth, something happened where I guess Fab had like maybe missed a flight or something,
right?
And Booth literally had to hold it down for like Fab's whole performance set, and I think it was like Valentine's Day too, and he just like. He's a problem. Like Booth is a problem. So those two guys are my definitely two current favorites. Like of
I love
the
both
now.
of those names. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Jeff is. Jeff is amazing. I remember seeing Jam Master Jay live one time. It was incredible.
Yeah, Jeff is special though. I when I was living in Vegas. I remember like when he would DJ. I would always either go see him or Z Trip. Just to go see some ill DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Z Trip was dope.
There was a time when Encore unplugged Jazzy Jeff, and it caused like chaos in the Vegas nightclub scene. They like shut him off because he wouldn't stop playing hip hop. This was like the dark EDM days of Vegas.
Yeah.
And Encore, there's Shecky Green.
Yes.
So Shecky, I think, had booked him there, and he's an old school hip hop guy, but like the GM of the club. Like, shut Jazzy Jeff off because he was too hip hop.
That's crazy.
I'm like, can you imagine cutting off DJ Jazzy Jeff?
It's like he just went silent. Like,
Yeah, but bro, Vegas used to be fucking.
Nah, I remember those times.
Weird.
I remember them
You
times.
had to like go DJ at Crown nightclub or some shit.
Yep.
Did you ever do Crown?
Yeah, I did Crown. I used to do Chateau.
You were at Chateau a lot.
Yeah, I was at Chateau.
Yeah, it was at Paris.
It was in Paris.
Yeah, you were
It was
at Chateau, yep.
And then what was the club that Ray J used to be a part of? Do you remember? This was like 08, 09. Franzen
before
used
I
to
got
do
there. Poetry.
Poetry. I used to do poetry all the time.
Did you ever do strip hop?
Of course.
Strip hop was
Yeah, we did
crazy.
strip hop.
It's the first time I ever saw a woman swallow an entire like animal balloon. She blew the whole shit up. It was like the size of this table, and it just went away, and she kept dancing. And I was like, is her stomach acid gonna pop the balloon? And like, is she gonna die, or like, is she gonna?
Yeah, strip hop was the time. That was the ill time. And then Booth and Rogers.
What about
What are yours?
I don't know, dude. All time.
AM's pretty fucking incredible too.
I guess like for me, probably.
I'm sorry, and then I have to who am I? What? Oh fuck! Who am I not thinking of? I can't believe I just went blank. From Canada, he was a DMC champion.
Oh, A-Track.
A-Track.
A-Track's a beast.
A-Track is a problem.
A-Track is a.
I love A-Track. I love he's
See, I like
he
DJ
might be third for me.
Well, the reason I like guys like
A-Track's-
A-Track is because I feel like A-Track, you could throw him in any situation,
any situation.
and he's gonna rock that shit.
Any
It could be
situation.
a fucking ratchet party, EDM party.
Doesn't matter.
He could go to a fucking DMC. A-Track's actually probably my favorite DJ ever. I bought his DVD and shit.
He's one of mine too. He's one of my favorite DJs ever, like all around. Like
Those are the kind of DJs that I like. I'm like, yo, if I could see somebody rock whatever, and they got whatever in their arsenal.
And to his credit too, like he had a very successful label,
Yep.
Fool's Gold.
Fool's Gold.
Like, he fucking was Kanye's DJ. Like,
Yep.
A-Track's name needs to get. He was a DMC champion. Like
As a child.
as a fucking 13-year-old.
Crazy.
Like
Now, A-Track's probably my personal favorite DJ.
Great
and then,
guy,
like Scratch
too,
DJ, I really like DJ Babu from the Beat Junkies.
Babu was dope.
But yeah, on some club shit, bro, I don't know, dude. Like, I guess it depends on what club I'm in. Because I'm so like current that I'm like, I just know if I see someone's name on a flyer, I'm like, oh, I know the music's gonna be straight. Like if Dre Sinatra's DJing, I'm like, cool, I know it's gonna be good.
Of course.
If DJ BAD is DJing, I mean, I'm in LA, so I'm naming LA guys. But
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Dre is like.
I heard Sean Mack once who's
Oh yeah,
fire.
Sean Mack. Sean Mack's a great one too.
Sean's dope.
Sean like going to Chicago. He's another one that I hated coming on after. I love. How
What about
Sean
on the
plays.
mixtape side if we exclude Clue, because that's going to be the easy one to name.
Yeah, but I did want to again about Dre. What's dope about Dre too is like I feel like he's like a Lou Will in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Dre is
He's a fucking bro. He's clutch.
He's clutch at all times. Like, you know,
Dude, he saved my ass twice during Super Bowl weekend. Meek Mill hops on, and Dre's just letting shit fly while he's performing, and he throws on one of the records that Meek's like on the second verse of,
and goes
and
right
Meek
to it.
looks at him like, "You got my verse ready?" And Dre's like, in the headphones and on the fly, like perfect timing. And I just looked at Dre like,
what record was it? Was it Fuck You?
yes, I think.
Was it Fuck You?
Because he dropped the record,
Yeah.
and Meek almost looked at him like, "What the fuck you playing this for?"
Yeah.
And Dre's like, and I was like, "Dog, thank you." And then even because your shit wasn't working with the controller we had at the club,
Yep.
So Dre was like, "I got it. It's all good."
Yep. We worked out of Dre's computer, and then you know, me and Dre, like when I first started working a lot in LA, there was this club called Colony on Monday nights. So All-Star Weekend in like 2010 was in LA, and I think I had a bunch of gigs, and then I got added to do Colony that Monday of All-Star. And this was like around the time when LA was kind of like changing, you know what I'm saying? And then so like the type of music that I was playing and like coming from Atlanta, like I did Colony and I fucking rocked. And then me and Dre like established this relationship. So Dre would start, that was really when the West Coast was kind of resurging with a sound, right. Rack City, like the early Mustard records. So Dre was putting me on to all the California music, and he was like, "Yo, play this. Yo, play this." And then I would take it back home and like start putting it on Shade 45 early on because I was familiar with it. So like, you know, we literally have been like rocking for a decade plus, and I've been watching him do his thing.
Whatever happened, you had a short-lived DJ crew that was supposed to kind of rival what the heavy hitters are.
You talking about the affiliates or like the academy?
The academy.
So we around 2012, 2013, we wanted to
Dre was a part of it.
Yeah,
Amen.
Dre was a part of it. Amen. We had a bunch of people a part of it. Like fucking Diamond Cuts, Mr. Rogers. It was like 15.
It was like short-lived though, right?
Well, what happened, to be honest, was around the time that we launched it, I was going into my A&R job, and then we started, Generation Now started, and we went into the direction of, you know, the label. And so I think that a lot of my, you know,
bandwidth.
Our bandwidth and just like our focus wasn't necessarily on what we had set out to do with the DJ crew at the time. So it kind of didn't become what it became. But you know, like, you know, we're still proud of, you know, the arsenal or the collective that we put together, and then there are people that still represent, or, you know, like it's still family. But then you said something before that I wanted to bring up. Was it about? You had said in the club, you were about to name somebody else.
I was just saying that, like, if I go to a club, if I see someone's name on a flyer, I'm like, there's just like a few names, and I'm like, oh, you know, like I love B.A.D. B.A.D.'s dope. And
then Sean Mack,
Sean Mack's dope. Yeah, I mean, who else did we talked about? A-Track.
Oh, you said, okay, so taking away Clue, you said mixtapes?
Oh, mixtapes, yeah. So if you take Clue out, who's your personal favorite mixtape DJs after yourself, obviously? Because there was some, I mean, there's guys like Big Mike, DJ Smalls, then there's Who Kid, so of
course I'm gonna say Cannon first. And then I'm gonna go Green Lantern and Who Kid. Like Green Lantern and Who Kid are why we are where we are. Like we would religiously listen and cop Green's tapes and Who Kid's tapes, and really for two different reasons too. Like,
because totally different styles of DJs.
Two totally different styles of DJing. Like Green, skill wise, creativity wise, like
actually making records.
Like, you know, the drops, just, you know, sound wise, nobody could touch Green. And then Who Kid for like marketing, like the way he was packaging the mixtapes, like the fold outs, the sponsorships, like it just was bigger than life. Like I think he's the first person I ever seen like with a fold out, like like
where you get the CD and
you would it was not just a
piece
page,
of paper.
like you would open it up and it'd be like all this shit on there and these accolades and sponsorships and all this shit, and it was like next level shit, and it was at a time when Fifth was the biggest thing in rap music. Insane. So I love Who Kid for that and his personality as well. Like he's just he's a fool. Like
for sure.
He's just a fucking fool. So yeah, those would be my go-tos. Am I leaving anybody out? So we got Clue,
Green
we got
Lantern.
Green, we got Who Kid. Yeah, I mean, early on
Those
for
are
me,
solid.
I'd show some love to SNS and Doo-Wop for early on in my career, for being inspirations.
You mentioned like not having bandwidth to do a lot. You still do a Shade 45. Is it Sunday nights?
Friday
nights. So you're still. I mean, you're still doing a radio show.
Yep.
Are you still voicing radio stations, imaging?
Yep. I still do that.
You got the label. You're putting music out. You're doing just a lot.
Yeah.
At what sacrifice what has been the biggest sacrifice you've had to make in the last 20 years? Because it could be time. I mean, you have grown like a grown daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it time with the kids?
Absolutely.
Is it family life?
That was probably the biggest sacrifice was father time. Like there was a lot of times, during my kids, like earlier, obviously not so much these days because they're older, but that I was gone a lot and I was on the road, like summer tours or just like on the weekends. So, that time you can't get back. I mean, it also benefited for them because they live a very good life and, have a very good lifestyle. But I think that's probably the biggest sacrifice that you make in this business.
What is some pointers you can give in terms of time management and just like things you've learned over the years to where you're kind of like making sure because time is the most valuable currency, I think.
Absolutely.
Like you got so much shit that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Like like what are the things, the practices you do? Because I got so much shit going on. I'm trying to figure out how to fit in all kinds of shit, bro. I be wearing myself thin. You know what I'm saying? So, like, is there anything that you've kind of figured out over the years that, like, is helpful in terms of productivity and being able to kind of do so much?
I mean, there's a lot, first of all, like, self-preservation, like, eating clean, drinking a lot of water, getting sleep, like, those things, working out, like, those things definitely are important in truthfully anyone's line of work or at this stage in life. I could not have done it without the people around me. Like, like I don't know if I would be here if it wasn't for Lake. You know what I'm saying? Like when, we've known each other for 25, 26 years, but like when he came into the picture and in a business sense in my career, like I think we really meshed, and we were able to really like create and put together some amazing things. Like I just give him a lot of credit when it comes to the creative side, when it comes to the business side, when it just comes to intellect. Like he's literally probably one of, if not the smartest people I know. And besides him, just in general, having a good team of people around you, having good people around you in general, you know what I'm saying, is very important. Like, obviously, I don't do this by myself, you know what I mean? You can't manage it all on your own, so salute to the whole Generation Now staff, of course, Cannon has always been very pivotable. Is that the right word?
I don't fucking know.
Pivotal. Cannon's been very pivotal. Excuse me. He's my right hand. Like, we've built an empire together, And then what else is there? You know, definitely some time to yourself.
Have you learned to say no to more shit?
You know, I'm a real yes guy in a lot of ways. Like there,
Because you're like, I don't want to leave no money on the table.
yeah, but I mean, it definitely has to be the right money. Like I'm not scrounging for $1. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I think the key to a lot of my success is a yes in a way. But and when I say that, I don't want to just say that I'm just like out here just doing whatever. But like a yes in a way of like people still find it surprising. Like I might just meet a person and they'll tell me they're an artist, and I'm like, here, take my number,
right?
And I'll give them my number, and like you know, I might not necessarily answer, but you know, at the same time, they'll send me shit,
right.
And I'll look at it. And
the fact you're giving your number out is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, yo, this is Lake.
I've definitely done, you know, Lake definitely gets calls like, yo, who is so and so? Who is Green Valley Monster Spa Day? Like,
what a fucking rap name.
I'm like, yeah,
I don't know. Hey, was there ever, last question before you get out of here, was there ever a tape that you said no to because maybe the money wasn't right or they weren't quite there yet that you regretted later?
Because the money wasn't right.
Like maybe somebody tried to get a Gangsta Grillz from you, but at that time maybe they weren't on your radar, and or they couldn't make the business make sense. But later on, you were like, damn.
Honestly, the only one of that like that for me, and people find this is very shocking. Like Rick Ross does not have a Gangsta Grillz, and like there was a period of time when I think like Def Jam came to me about doing a tape, and there was a number on the table, and at the time I wasn't handling my business, but they didn't want to pay for the tape, and so it didn't happen. But honestly, I would have done a Rick Ross tape just on the strength of it's Ross. Like
and he's got classic mixtapes.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Like so, I would have did that. Like it's shocking to me to think that Ross doesn't have like a Gangsta Grillz, like he's not part. And mind you, like that's my guy. I've done records for him. You know, he's done records for me. Like we've worked.
It's kind of crazy.
We've worked a lot throughout the years, but we don't have a Gangsta Grillz together. So that's kind of shocking.
Is that something like now that you're back in this bag, are you trying to seek out tapes where you're like, hey, I know that like I'm hot. Like the Gangsta Grillz brand is as hot as it's been in the last 10, 15 years.
For sure.
Maybe I now like approach Ross, or maybe I now approach.
There's some people that I've like put kites out to, like, yo.
Like, hey, now's the time.
Now's the time, for sure. Absolutely. But the majority of the time, I'm getting a lot of phone calls, and good phone calls. So it's like, like I got another one coming that's
crazy.
Whew, man. Yeah.
On the way?
Yeah. It's done.
It's done?
Yeah, it's done.
What state are they from?
What state?
What state?
Oh yeah.
And give it away?
I can't do that.
Oh, in that case.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you.
If it would give it away, it's not Georgia.
I can't tell you the state.
It's definitely not Georgia. It's definitely not Tennessee. It's definitely not Florida. It's definitely not California.
Yeah, it's not.
It'd give it away, huh?
It would.
Wouldn't be Louisiana. It would give it away.
It would. It would give it away. Yeah, it would give it. It would put it in the box of like you would. Yeah, you would figure it out.
It would give it away.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find out off camera because I will guess this correctly on camera. If you give me a couple of, it's not Michigan. That means that they kind of have to be like the face of where they're from, and there's not a lot of other shit going on from where this person's from.
Even if I were to tell you, it would still take you a second, but then you would figure it out. Or let's put it like this: if I was to say it, they would figure it out.
Georgia.
You're never gonna get it. So you might as well just ask another question.
Well, you're definitely not doing. You're not doing one with Tech 9, are you? From fucking Kansas City. I don't know. All we're kind of getting into the region, I see, huh? We're getting into the region, are we?
Let's see, are there any hints up here? Any hints? I don't think you have any hints around here.
Okay. Well, let me get a list of the 50 states, and then I'm going to give you one guess.
But outside of that one, Fabio, Pusha T.
Okay, yeah, what's up with the Pusha T shit?
Yeah.
I just got into a fucking serious argument with Jim Jones on video about them saying that Pusha T doesn't deserve him to be in the top 50 ever. It's fucking asinine.
Yeah, that's
King
crazy.
Push.
Mozzie's on my album, by the way.
Free Mozzie.
Free Mozzie.
Okay, so what's up with the Pusha T Gangsta Grillz?
It's in the works.
Is it like started?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to come before or after this album he keeps talking about?
It's going to come before his album.
Ooh, so it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Almost finished?
I can't say that. I can't answer that.
Did you guys kind of...
Are you looking at states?
Yeah. So I'm doing right now. Because literally what I'm doing. I mean, Kentucky, it wouldn't be Jack Harlow. Wouldn't be. I'm just trying to think of like a rapper that's hot right now from a random fucking place. I mean, it's not... I know who it is.
No, you don't.
Who could use a Gangsta Grillz right now? Who could use one? Oh, I'll tell you who could use a Gangsta Grillz. The baby could use a Gangsta Grillz right now.
Shout to the baby.
It's not it. The baby could use a Gangsta Grillz.
We've talked.
It's nobody from Utah. It's nobody from Vermont. All right, listen, you're going to have to just tell me off the fucking camera.
Of course. Yeah, once the interview's over, I'm
Missouri. What other cities are in Missouri?
what's that? St. Louis?
All right, huh? To be continued.
Yeah. You got to think that's going to fuck some shit up too. Like, oh shit.
Dirk?
Dirk has like 3 Gangsta Grillz under his belt.
See, I'm not a Little Dirk fan, so
Really?
I also like don't like. It's not like I'm not a fan, but I'm also like, I'm not like running to a Gangsta Grillz from Little Dirk. I'm sure that was like 2012, 13, 14
Yep.
era. Like, yeah, I'm just not interested at that time. I'm not
Sign to
interested
the
now.
streets.
Yeah, shout out to Dirk though. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you pulling up. The new album's coming in April.
3/31.
3:30. Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's coming real soon.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Can't wait to hear the Blasted Nipsey song.
Can't wait for you to hear it. Can't wait for you to see this rollout too. I'm actually going to show you after this interview. Yeah,
And then another Gangsta Grillz coming.
then another one. Then a possible deluxe.
Have you and DJ Khaled ever screamed on the same song?
Yes.
Okay, that's the last thing.
Yep. We've screamed on the same song.
Which one? Which song was that?
We've both been on a Raw song together. We both were on a K Slay song together. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to K Slay, man.
Yep. I did the hook. I think Khaled rapped.
I'm glad he stopped doing that.
What, rapping?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of dope though if you think about it, because then it gives you something to perform when you have
True.
your records. You know what I'm saying?
What you think I'm not full? Let's go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. If I could rap, I would do it.
You never rapped?
Nah.
There's not.
Recently though, I've been making my shit rhyme a little more. No, I'm lying. I did. Wait. Well, I did a hook for Scheme. There's a Scheme record where I did the hook for.
Ooh.
And then
What happened to Scheme?
He's just been working.
Such a talented guy.
Amazing talent. We're gonna put something together.
Shout out to Scheme.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Well, I
Love him to
appreciate
death.
you, man.
Nah,
331.
Yeah, I'm really like that.
I'm really like that.
Yep.
New single out right now with Lil Baby and A Boogie.
Hope for me.
And yeah, let's end the interview so I can get the answer to this other fucking. It's gonna bother me. DJ Drama.
Holla at me. I'm really like that.